briefing from detectives, the precarious mission headed by a brave couple of teens is underway. Friends return to one of their homes and prepare for the suspect to arrive.
So, dude. Okay, that's a bit. Me and we're back in the good. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, yeah, I'll walk out there. Alright, I'll see you. Why did he say that? Why did he say he just wanted to talk to me? No. Holy why does he really talk to him about? I don't know, man. I don't know. All I can think about is that he would trust you already. Which, I mean, yeah, because I was been him harder. Alright, FYI, guys, my roommate is not home. He's going to be at work till about like 1 or 2 a.m. tonight.
One of the friends updates law enforcement who's listening in. The suspect is due to arrive in just a few minutes. The hidden camera is strategically placed just before the suspect enters with his friend, and both take a seat on the couch. Apparently, the two had a short conversation outside, and the suspect would like for his friends to accompany him on an errand of sorts. But before they get to that, they speculate on Emma's potential manner of death. We know that very little information has been made public, and they only have rumors to go on. Well, 2 of them at least. We suspect that the third knows everything.
They would have automatically ruled out any kind of suicide, or I mean, not ruled it out, but like, if she would have got shot through the wall, you don't just get shot and die instantly unless you get hit in the throat or in the head.
Yeah.
Unless you got shot directly in the heart, but still even that, like you're gonna feel that, wake up and be able to try and like crawl out of your bed.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Like, I still don't understand how she died.
It's likely that no part of this discussion is medically accurate, but the undercover friends play along in an attempt to get more information from the suspect.
Yeah, definitely likely.
Continues.
I don't either, but if like she got shot through the wall, then she would like say it hits her in the stomach. Say somebody shot her in the wall, hit her in the stomach. She's going to wake up. You don't just get shot.
This just
I don't see how she would.
This just sounds like a guilty person coming up with like a bunch. Like they just seem like they're entirely in denial. Like, nah, I did not shoot her in the head, bro. Like, alright, I shot a wild bullet. It probably went through the house. I know that's her bedroom. Maybe it just scared her, bro, or it hit her in the leg, but there's no way I hit her in the head. Are you kidding me? You know what I mean? That's what it's starting to sound like.
Scream or something, like things. And she just like, unless it was just like a ridiculous shot.
If it hit her in the head, then they would have saw that.
Well, yeah, but you don't know that. I mean, they could have walked in and seen her just. Well, it was a murder investigation from family that morning.
As far as I know,
Like they never.
they always don't know anything about how she was found or when she was found.
Because
whenever you hear,
exactly. Whatever they always knew, whatever you hear from,
could not be true.
they knew it was a homicide from the first second because they put in protective custody.
She is.
Yeah.
The suspect is clearly alarmed by this information. The thought of a friend having been murdered would be quite devastating to hear. However, it's much more probable that the shock is from knowing that if her death was in fact a homicide, then law enforcement's main focus will be to locate the killer. Which brings us to our next important topic of conversation.
But I'm trusting you guys, like, with my life, because I mean, this is 70 years in jail.
From the moment he said that, I would have been like, yep, nope, he did it. Nah, I wouldn't do that. But like, I don't know. From the moment you say that, I don't know. This is 70 years of my life. If I get convicted for something I didn't do, wait, what are you talking about? So you know she got shot for a fact? Oh, and you have the gun? Oh, how'd you get involved in this situation? Who did it then? You know what I mean? Like, I'd have immediately been like, yeah, nah, bro.
I get convicted of something I did do. Then, are you busy right now? You got to do anything?
Let's put a person in this window if I can.
Because I need to do a video. Good luck. I'm gonna have to throw it in the water. They'll never find me. I'll try to get the water with like rocks. Well, we do it with lungs. Sure. We can go on that.
Let's put some more city buildings.
I mean, I know how bad, man. I Jesus Christ, dude. I just, like, if it's in the Tennessee River, they will never find it. So that's why I just want to eliminate that from the equation as a whole. Honestly, economy basis. Economy basis. I'm not for you. That's your receiving. Well, do you guys know where I know? I'm fine. Let me go snack. I'm hot pocket. I'm starving. I'm so hungry. I would love a hot pocket.
After preparing a couple of Hot Pockets, the teens depart en route to an area that overlooks the Tennessee River, not far from the University of Tennessee campus, known as the Bluffs. It's possible that the suspect isn't just looking for moral support here. By involving his friends in the disposal of the gun, he's likely trying to protect himself. If he gets them to help, they'll be more likely to follow his plan of lying to the police about what they know of the gun, and he'll be able to hold their involvement over them. They won't want legal consequences for their part in getting rid of potential evidence, so they'll feel more motivated to lie for the suspect.
That makes sense.
I'm gonna try to jump the fence, my quiet, and snatch it. What you mean? Well, go around to the church. Alright, I'll be back. If you're not back in 2 minutes, we'll come after you.
Less than 4 nerve-wracking minutes later, the suspect returns to the vehicle.
Yeah, I just want to throw it and be done. Oh my god, I can feel it. Like I just don't. I think there's gloves up here too, so I can put those over you. One straight like they go up. I think they're close. I think we can use them. And I'll just put the gloves down and take it out. Great thing. I'll fucking call. I'll carry it up. Gloves over. We'll get to the top. We'll throw them bullets individually. We're gonna throw the clip. And down we go.
Judging by the fact that the suspect keeps repeating how he wants to get rid of the gun, it seems that he's assuming that getting rid of the gun will mean that police will not have any evidence that points to him. They make one more detour and stop for some gas and fast food. The suspect, seated in the front passenger seat, hasn't allowed him as death to affect his appetite.
Right.
About 15 minutes later, they arrive at the Bluffs, and the horrifying moment of truth has almost arrived.
Jenny, let me see this thing. I don't know if she touched it. Does she have photos on our stuff? I mean, they don't have my fingerprints in any database. Hey, good, bro. Got arrested. Yeah, but they didn't print me. Oh my god. What? This is a real gun.
The utter magnitude of the reality has to be overwhelming as they lay their eyes on the very weapon that they believed was used to end Emma's life. Then, seemingly out of nowhere, the teens are rudely awakened to find that they're not alone.
What the? Oh my god, man. What the? What the? Everybody put their hands out of the vehicle.
Ooh. Ooh, they got him.
Leave your hands out of the vehicle.
Amid the chaos, in just seconds, the suspect will be ordered to exit the vehicle, and all those present are aware that he's in the possession of the suspected murder weapon. If the suspect feels like he has nothing left to lose, and senses that his friends betrayed him, he may choose to take revenge.
Ooh.
Passenger, can you hear me? Yes. Open the door from the outside. Open the door all the way. Exit the vehicle. Keep your hands up. Hands up.
Thankfully, he's apprehended without incident.
Rear passenger, do not move. Do you understand me? Yes. Do you understand? Yes. Do not move your hand. Yeah. Now.
Oh, we're gonna pop a cap in you, bro. A fake cap. We know, but still.
Right there. Right there. Move the bag back toward the seat. Yep. Hey, Mary. Yep. Just pull that bag enough, just to see the serial number. Just to see the serial number. How good do you want to look at this? You want me to start and see the blood for a hold and see if we can take care of no one? Because I'll call she look. Goddamn right, boys.
And with that, the serial number was confirmed to belong to a gun that has, very recently, landed itself on law enforcement's radar. It had been kept under the driver's seat of the owner's vehicle until on November 18th, when he realized it was missing. And here's where it all begins to come crashing down.
Ooh.
On November 20th, James Walker reported his Glock 9mm pistol stolen. Though James and Emma's family share a surname, they are of no relation. James, however, is related to someone else who's very close to the case. His grandson happens to be none other than the grieving boyfriend, Riley Gaul. That's right. The suspect was actually Riley all along. In addition to the firearm, other damning evidence was recovered, including the gloves we heard mention of, and black clothing that would later confirm that Riley was likely the suspicious man dressed in black.
What I tell you, gang?
As it turns out, there's much more to this convoluted story than initially meets the eye. Let's take a closer look into the events that transpired over those 2 years. What you're about to see will paint a picture of a tumultuous roller coaster of a relationship, remarkably different than what you've seen so far. It all started when that freshman cheerleader caught the eye of that star wide receiver.
We dated on and off for about 2 years, until about 2 weeks ago is when she really cut it off. I had cut it off in the past before, she cut it off before. It just kind of went back and forth. It would be months at a time, and then we'd have a small fallout, and then we'd get back together.
It wasn't far into the relationship before Emma's friends and family began to see concerning signs. Emma's friends observed Riley exhibit behavior that they could only describe as controlling, possessive, and clingy. Riley wanted Emma to himself, and according to Emma's mom, Jill, Riley even attempted to control what Emma wore. This sort of jealousy and possessiveness is typical of abusive relationships. The perpetrator essentially treats the victim like a possession, rather than a human being. It is common for perpetrators of abusive relationships to have antisocial personality disorder. Individuals with this personality disorder often have a need to dominate others and use others to fulfill their own emotional needs. Along with this, Riley quickly became obsessed with Emma and their relationship. Their relationship seems to have followed the 3 stages of obsession. The first is the absorbed stage. The initial attachment is extreme, and everything becomes serious very early on. The obsessive partner places the other partner in a specific role, which is consistent with Riley's attempt to dictate what Emma wore. Next comes the agitated stage. As the relationship progresses, the obsessive partner increasingly attempts to control the other. They text, call, or email numerous times a day.
Yeah, it's crazy how we study people so well, so much, that we can deduce what makes like an obsessive partner. We can see the traits of it. It's a shame that it have like abuse and all that, but it's a good thing we can now like spot certain signs, you know what I mean? And like even family could see certain signs and certain traits and be like, yeah, nah, that seems like you know what I mean? So that's good still.
They're jealous of anyone or anything that takes time away from the relationship and attempt to isolate their partner from friends and family. The third and final stage is the aggressive stage, which typically starts when either previously successful attempts at controlling the partner have failed, or the partner has ended the relationship. At this point, the obsessive partner ups the ante. They may suddenly show up to places uninvited. They may alternate between pleas to reunite and vows of vengeance. For some desperate or disturbed individuals, the behavior can escalate to stalking, threats, or physical violence. As it turns out, in the midst of those breakups Riley referenced, he'd send Emma the most vile of messages through social media. Among them, I hate you, I hate everything about you, and you're the biggest I've ever come in contact with. The messages eventually escalated to a whole new menacing level.
Yo, this boy crazy, y'all. Yo, somebody come get this dude. Look at him. Look at him. Crazy. Yo, I know I'm making light of it being a little facetious, but that's real sad though, that some young girl lost her life because of this crazy dude right here. Watch him, knucklehead.
With one in particular reading, "You're dead to me. I'll check the obituary. Q. When Emma's parents caught wind of this, Riley was understandably no longer allowed in their home. They confiscated Emma's cell phone in an attempt to end communication between her and Riley, but the attempt failed. They advised Emma to break up with Riley, and her friends did the same. However, Emma wasn't ready to cut ties, and she was one to make her own decisions. It can be incredibly difficult for someone to leave an abusive relationship. Those on the outside often question why someone would stay, but abusers are not abusive all the time, and often have a seemingly loving side to them. By turning the charm on, abusers are able to manipulate their partner into staying, or giving the abuser another chance. However, the cycle of abuse will likely continue, and the level of abuse can escalate over time. And of course, Riley's behavior became increasingly alarming. He began stalking Emma. He'd wait for hours on end outside the supermarket where she worked, and continued attempting to speak with her, even after Emma's parents had forbidden contact between the two.
Bro, chill.
Finally, somewhere around early November of 2016, Emma ended things with Riley. In fact, she informed a close friend that they were done for good, and for a matter of about 2 weeks, friends and family had their Emma back. It's important to note that when someone leaves an abusive relationship, this is considered to be the most dangerous time. Once the abuser realizes that none of their usual tactics are working to get their partner back, their violent behavior may escalate because they feel so out of control.
Oh, jeez.
Shortly after Emma ended the relationship, Riley allegedly attempted to take his own life. Campus friends took him to the local hospital for treatment, effectively saving his life. Maybe it was then that he made the ultimate decision. If he couldn't have Emma, he'd see to it that no one would.
So they
A crime of convenience.
imagine that, bro. They saved his life and subsequently killed her.
Presented itself. Back in Riley's previous interrogation, the questioning turned to the missing firearm.
Wait, can you use that word on YouTube? I don't even know. I might delete that out just in case. But they deleted her subsequently by saving him.
Investigators are starting to look at the means and access to the aspects of the crime, which is, in a sense, Riley's ability to commit the crime.
Now, I understand that your grandfather has had a gun stolen or missing or something to that effect. Yeah. Can you tell me about that?
It was during the week, last week, because he came and switched out my car with his car to go get the oil change back in Knoxville. So he left his car on campus, but he took his keys with him. And he said, when he got back, we switched our cars again, and he took off, and he called me maybe 10 minutes later, or 5 or 10 minutes later, and said, "You know where my gun's at?" I said, "No, I haven't been in your car."
Do you remember what time last week it was?
It might have been Friday then. It was Thursday or Friday he came to do that. But he left his car on campus, but he took his keys with him.
Okay.
So I did.
He real adamant on saying that his grandfather took his keys with him. That don't mean you can't get the car broken into. That don't mean you can't call a locksmith of sorts and get your car opened. You could actually get campus police to open your car for free if you ever get locked in and you're on campus. Just a little FYI. Campus police should be able to open your car for you for free wherever you're at. In the States, that is.
Didn't even go to the car because it only took an hour.
Or even your local police. I think most local police have a different contact number, but yeah, apparently your local police can open your car for you as well.
He brought my car back, we switched out again, and that's when he got on the road and called me about 5 or 10 minutes later and asked if I messed with his gun.
So did you have a way to use this car? I mean, did you use his keys?
No, he took the keys with him.
Well, I mean, I didn't know if you had an extra set or, I mean, like, okay. keys to my brother's vehicle. He's doing extra to my car that he used. I kept my keys on me because I need to keep my door.
Got you.
The detective has a few important questions.